What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. Amazon Kindle creates space. Things she should bring to the table. It's not going to be. Let's start. I'm going to get right into it. A healthy lifestyle. Because, see, people talk about, women should bring something to the table. And I don't even hear women saying what it is they should bring to the table. So I'm going to say what some of the things they need to bring to the table. Number one, healthy lifestyle. What I mean by that is mind, body, soul, emotions. Like you have to bring um, a healthy mind into a relationship. It can't be. You have to be at peace with yourself because nobody could bring peace to you. You have to have a healthy self-esteem. You have to be in control of who you are. Understand you and your needs, wants, and understand you fully, and be comfortable in your own skin. That being said, you have to be able to take care of yourself properly. I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about you need to be able to handle yourself physically. You need to eat right. You need to stay in some type of shape, maintain yourself properly. You need to put positivity into your consciousness and your subconsciousness. You need to look at positive imagery. You need to listen to positive music. You need to watch, read positive books, so you can be a more positive person. So you can be healthy, a healthy person to be around. Emotionally, they say yeah, women are more emotional than men, but the thing about it is you have to have your emotions in check. You can't just be all over the place. You can't let your emotions rule your day. And what I mean by that is honestly that some people, females have a tendency to and emotional people in general have a tendency to only view their actions in the vacuum of their emotions. Like, oh, I was angry when I did that. Oh, I was sad when I did that. Oh, I was this, what I'm saying? I was happy when I did that. But how it comes off to other people is, you know, that's who you are. Like, you just moody, you're bipolar or something. Like, doesn't come off that, every mood and everything in each mood is justified because of the mood, because people don't have time for that. But, you know, spiritually it's the same thing. Like, you have to be centered. I don't care what it is. Meditate, pray. You have to be healthy to be. You have to be somebody that's good company. So you have to bring being whole or well-rounded and good company to the table. Having a healthy lifestyle. Self-awareness needs to be brought to the table. I mean, I think it's difficult for some people because this is such a self-centered society, in a vain society. But if you're not aware of yourself, and what I mean by that is, don't you're a person who knows who they are, and they don't get lost in trends. You don't change with every season. You don't, you might change a look, but you don't change who you are internally. You have to be aware of how you communicate with people, what you say to people, how you say it to people. You know, how you interact with people, how those interactions are going to affect the interaction that the people around you have with other people. You have to be aware of how you present yourself in each environment. How not how you dressed, how you walk, what signals you're giving off. If you're sending direct messages or mixed messages, you have to be able to bring the knowledge of yourself in in the social setting you're in to the table, because that limits all of the miscommunication. A lot of the bickering and back and forth arguments. A lot of that comes from miscommunication because people do things out of just sometimes habit and without thinking of how it affects other people. You have to bring a sense of contentment, or just being content to the table. Like, figuratively, literally speaking, what I'm about to say, when you come to the table and you have an appetite, it's understandable to feel your appetite, but it's not understandable to be a picky eater who's greedy. And what I mean by that is, um, you have to understand that you don't dictate everything at the table. If you come to the table and you're like, oh, I like seafood, but if you want a buffet every day, so you can pick everything you want, and it's got to be to your liking, it's got to be specified the way you want it, everything has to be this and everything has to be that. That's overbearing. You have to, at some point, you have to be content. Like, this is enough. You have to know when enough is enough, and when you're getting above and beyond something and not pushing the envelope. Because some people are not content to the point that it's always more. I need this. Oh, I got that. I need more. I want more. I want more. And sometimes less is more. You know, because the need, the lack of being content creates resentment. Uh, because you're never satisfied, and you can never be happy if internally being never satisfied, because nothing's ever good enough. And a lot of times you'll want a person to supply you with something that you can't supply yourself, because the happiness and contentment is internal, not external. um how can I say this? One of the other things you need to bring to the table, I want to say this properly, but so just give me a second. It's simple to say teamwork, but a history of being a team player. Because some people have an only child mentality where everything revolves around them. So you have to have a history of being a team player. Like, you have to understand your role, and when your role is necessary, and what your role is, and that you're not in charge of everything. Like, sometimes it's not your night, it's not your day. Sometimes it is your night and it is your day. So when you're accustomed to that, you know the mission is to win, not to be the star. Because you could be the star and lose, and that doesn't help anything. So you have to learn how to have a history of being a team player, to the point where it's second nature. You know, and that's the thing about being a team player. When somebody says, "You want me to take the back seat?" If you're on the same team, there ain't no back seat. That's just the reality of it. So if you you can't fight and you can't be on the same team and want to fight your teammates and expect to win. That's just not, that takes too much effort. Somebody got to go. That's why I say the history of being a team player, has to be, you have to bring it to the table. um Foresight, I think this is important, because I see a lot of short-term thinking, and I remember a time where women, the flip side of women being quiet and dainty and feminine, was they could they had the time to peep out their surroundings in the room and the people, and how people, in the direction people was coming in, and what was going on around them, and they were able to distribute the information, like, those are good people, those are bad people, this is going to go great with these people, this is going to go bad with these people. And that short-term memory and lack of and the increase of impulsiveness, that's missing. So you need to, bring foresight to the table, but you might have to get in touch with your femininity. You might have to get in touch with self control to, to not want to shoot yourself in the foot, you know, by rushing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna leave it at that. We out.